All right, so we are out at the range today, and what we have here is a Staccato XC. So this is a lot of people's grail gun. It is a 2011 single action only, so very excellent trigger on these pistols, very low recoil. Due to the fact that the slide's a little bit shorter and we do have an integrated compensator up front, very easy to shoot because with modern manufacturing, they're all coming equipped with optics. However, like I said, this is kind of a grail gun. So these are about $4,400 in the year 2025. So although it's an excellent pistol, it is a very expensive pistol. But in the year 2025, we have a ton of new options that are coming to market to rival the Staccato XC and pistols like this at a reduced price point. So that's what we're here to talk about today. One of the new contenders that has been picking up a lot of traction in 2025 is Alpha Foxtrot. So what Alpha Foxtrot has come out with is a Romulus Comp. So similar to a Staccato XC, we have a double stack 1911 style of pistol here that does accept optics. It is a multi-component design just like a Staccato XC, where we have a grip as a part 1, a frame as part 2, and then your upper assembly, your slide assembly, barrel assembly as component 3. So this is a little bit different than a Staccato XC in the fact that it's a commander size gun. So we're a hair shorter, which you should be able to see right about there. So Staccato XC looks like a government size gun, which is a traditional 5.1 inch. However, it's about a 4.6 inch barrel with your compensator built in out front. Whereas this Romulus Comp is about 4.25, so a traditional commander barrel with the comp added on up front. Now, a couple other really unique features. This is a tri-topped slide, which is one of the features that I'm always looking for in a high-capacity 1911 style of pistol. What that means is that there's been a lot of weight cut out of the slide, so it should be less weight moving back and forth and a little bit softer shooting. This is also a bull barrel, just like a Staccato XC and many other designs, which means, again, we have more weight cut out of the slide and more weight that doesn't move. Again, we do have a compensator added on up front with an optics cut at the rear. Now, what you're going to get if you decide to grab a Alpha Foxtrot Romulus Comp for yourself is this really nice soft bag. Inside of that soft bag, we have 2 magazines. So we have a 126-ish millimeter magazine. So this is going to be your flush fit magazine right here. And we also get a 140 millimeter magazine, which is going to be this fella right here. So a little bit of an extended magazine there. So good value for the money. Coming with 2 magazines, a soft case. We also get 2 different optics plates. So the optics plate that came on the pistol looks to be very similar to a Shield RMSC cut. So this would be for any of your compact size optics that you might choose to run. Or in our case, what we've gone ahead and done is install a Trijicon SRO. So there is an RMR plate that's included with this Romulus Comp so that you can mount up Trijicon SRO, any of the Trijicon RMRs, or any of the Holosuns that use that same optic footprint. So what we're going to do today, we're going to figure out what this Alpha Foxtrot's all about. We're going to get this this SRO zeroed up at about 15 yards. We're going to run it through its paces. Interesting thing about these magazines, they look very similar to the Atlas Gunworks magazines. So Atlas Gunworks makes some of the highest quality pistols on the market. Aside from high quality pistols, they make a ton of different parts, including but not limited to magazines. Usually, if you have one of these high capacity 1911 style of pistols, all of your feeding issues are solved simply by going to Atlas magazines. So you can see our 126 millimeter magazine is marked Checkmate on here, so we know that's a Checkmate magazine. However, our 140 millimeter magazine, you can see we've got an Atlas Gunworks standard magazine right here. And our base plates look very similar. Atlas Gunworks magazine has their logo on it. The one included with the Romulus Comp does not. So we also have a pile of Atlas Gunworks magazines here to see how it does. I have 240 millimeter standard magazines, 240 millimeter premium magazines, 226 millimeter magazines, and 226 millimeter magazines with their really cool DLC finish on it. So ton of mags, got a case of ammo. We're going to load this thing up, get it zeroed, run it through its paces, and see what this Alpha Foxtrot can do. All right, so ammo for the day, we have some Federal American Eagle 115 grain ball ammo. We've got our short magazine filled with a few rounds, target out at 15 yards. We're going to go ahead and see how this is grouping and get this SRO zeroed. So here we go with the Alpha Foxtrot at 15 yards. All right, there's our first 3 rounds. Pistol is clear. Let's go see what we've got. And there are our first 3 rounds right there. Definitely not a bad little group at all for the Romulus at 15 yards, just getting warmed up here. So we'll make a quick little adjustment, check our 0, and we should be ready to rock. And our second group with the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus Comp, we've got 2 rounds basically touching the paster. We're gonna go ahead and call that good. We're ready to shoot. We'll load some magazines up and see what this Alpha Foxtrot Romulus is all about. Starting off here, we've got one of the included magazines. So this is the 126 mil Checkmate magazine with some American Eagle in it. We took this pistol right out of the package, installed the optic, no lubrication or anything like that. Usually 2011s need to be run pretty lubricated, but we'll just see how it does right out of the box. All right, first mag in, hit the target every single time I fired at it. No stoppages whatsoever. So seems like we're working pretty good. Let's go ahead and speed it up. We have next an Atlas standard magazine, so 140 millimeter magazine. We'll go ahead and just shoot 6 rounds out, see what we can do from the holster with this Romulus on the timer. Yeah, pistol's tracking really well. Didn't miss the safety. 3 seconds flat for our next 6 rounds. And definitely getting the hang of it. 2.6 seconds for a bill drill. All hits at about 12 yards down range. Should have a few rounds left in this magazine. We'll just finish them out. Working pretty well. All right. 2 mags in. That was an Atlas Gunworks standard 140 millimeter. We are now going to the Atlas Gunworks premium magazine. No issues whatsoever with the included mags or Atlas mags with the American Eagle. All right, 2.5 seconds. So our fastest time yet. Definitely warming up. Pistol's running great. The comp is definitely working. It feels really flat shooting. Sights are tracking really well. They lift straight up and they come right back down to the target. So a little bit more dot movement than, say, the XC with a 4.6-inch barrel and a little bit bigger comp up front, but still shooting really good. Super easy to put rounds exactly where you want them with this single action trigger. So again, trigger's not quite as good as the Staccato XC, but these pistols are coming in at about 1/3 of the cost. So it's definitely not 3 times as heavy, so I'm pretty happy with it. Premium mag worked well. Looks like what we have next is the included 140 millimeter, so kind of the like an Atlas mag, and we'll just kind of shoot a little bit, see what we can do here. Oh yeah, and if you take a look at that target, you can see I was putting them all right about dead center. That was a full 20-round magazine right about dead center of that piece of steel at about 10 yards down range. So pistol's definitely getting a little warm, which we do appreciate on a chilly day like today. We're moving now to Atlas 126 millimeter base magazines in the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. We'll start kind of moving around between the targets a little bit and see what we think and see how the pistol does with these a little bit shorter Atlas mags. Base mags are no problem. Last but not least, we have our Atlas Gunworks DLC 126 millimeter magazines in the Romulus Comp. Yeah, we're just rocking those plates down there. So this brings us to a really interesting point. We just fired about 150 rounds, no issues whatsoever, out of this Romulus Comp. Atlas does make these magazines with a very premium finish. This is a DLC finish, diamond like carbine, also known as like PVD. So it's a very tough finish. It's what Atlas Gunworks puts on their $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 pistols. That is the exact same finish that you are getting on this Alpha Foxtrot Romulus Comp. So for the price, you are getting a DLC coated finish, and you can see with about 150 rounds, this pistol still looks about new. no lubrication aside from what came included in the packaging. So DLC mags, DLC coated pistol. What we're going to do next is we are going to top back off all of our magazines and keep playing with this Romulus Comp. So we've been having a lot of fun with this Alpha Foxtrot Romulus Comp. We're about to cross into 400 rounds. We've got our magazines topped off again. The ammunition that's in our magazines will put us at 400 rounds. So far, we've had no issues whatsoever, no sort of stoppages, malfunctions, anything crazy like that. It is a little bit chilly out here, so definitely not my best shooting, but the pistol's been doing really good. The sights track really well. Another thing that we kind of noticed as we're kind of looking at it, we do have a night sight up front. That is a night vision front sight. So if you do like iron sights and you just want to shoot it with iron sights, that's a really nice feature up there as well. But finish has been holding up really well so far. Again, about to cross into 400 rounds with no issues whatsoever, so we're just going to keep chugging away and let this little pistol do its thing. All right, and there it is. So that is actually our first stoppage of the whole day. No lubrication, right around probably 350 rounds. What we have here is a failure to extract. So if we take a look here, we'll actually see the spent casing is still in the chamber, and a next round tried to feed in front of it. So the extractor slipped off of the casing. That's somewhat of a common issue with the design, but out comes the spent casing. We're just going to keep rolling, no lubrication whatsoever. Again, Federal American Eagle 115 grain ammunition. And we're back. And last but not least, we'll just finish her out nice and slow. Get across the finish line. Once again, it is really hard to miss. So that is 400 rounds fired with the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus Comp. Again, straight out of the box, no lubrication whatsoever. Filled up a pile of magazines. We had the factory magazines that were included. Atlas Gunworks base, premium, 140 and 126 millimeter magazines. All said and done with the Federal American Eagle ammunition, we had one stoppage. It was just a traditional failure to extract, so fairly easy to clear out. Again, could that have been alleviated simply by lubricating the pistol? Possibly. Or it's just 400 rounds in a brand new pistol. Maybe it's breaking in, just getting a little dry and shot up. Maybe just a little bit better maintenance or lubrication would clear that up. But overall, super impressed. It's a really fast shooting pistol. Comparative to some of the other pistols I shoot, just the lightweight properties of this pistol, since it does have a polymer grip up front and it's a little bit shorter than, say, a full-size 5-inch gun, it swings really fast from target to target. So you're able to see, as I was kind of shooting 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and then 2 back to the right, the pistol just swung really quick, and it was really easy to get stopped right where I wanted to place those rounds. So the pistol shot great. The comp was definitely working. Sights lifted and came straight back to the target. So I was able to shoot this extremely fast, extremely accurate with the single action trigger that's on here. My guess, it's probably about 4 or so pounds, but it's definitely not a trigger that held me back at all. Better than what you'll find on most striker fired guns, that's for sure. So definitely a lot of fun. A really interesting contender if you're looking for a high capacity, 1911 style pistol. If you do like what a compensator offers for you, it's something that you could absolutely use for, just generally plinking out here at the range like what we did today. It's a lot of fun to shoot. If you wanted to take it to a competition, you definitely wouldn't really be outgunned. Or if you're looking for a really competent and cool carry piece, you could absolutely carry something of this size and variety for sure. Definitely what I would say reliable enough, at least from our initial range day here, for a carrier home defense piece. We do have facilities to mount an optic up front. We do have a pick rail down here to mount a light. So tons of different roles that you could flex this pistol into, and you're getting all of this for a really great price. So really interesting new option from Alpha Foxtrot out today.